This is CoinGeek.com with me, Stephanie Tower. Today I'm here with Joshua Henslee. He is a dynamic 365 consultant. Tell us, how did you get involved within the blockchain space?
So I didn't pay attention about Bitcoin until early 2018, with the price run up like everybody else, and then went into all sorts of altcoins and went bankrupt in the process, losing. But then I saw an interview of Roger Ver that he did with a crypto YouTuber, and he got a lot of crap on social media, but I was wondering why, right? So I just decided to listen, and that changed everything because he made lots of sense at the time. It was May like 2018. And then went to BCH, and then went down the rabbit hole, block size debate, BSV, just made sense from an enterprise perspective. It's just...
Why does it make sense to you?
Scalability, lock protocol, low fees, just predictable stability is the key. No enterprise is gonna build on something that's constantly changing, right? It doesn't make sense from a risk perspective. So BSV, from my perspective, is just obviously light years ahead of everything else.
What do you think are the use cases that are available in this technology for the real world?
So one good thing, I had the opportunity to have a meeting with Steve Shatters, Jimmy, and Craig at the last conference before it started about EDI on Bitcoin. And I thought Craig wasn't paying attention because he was taking selfies with Jimmy, but it turns out he was. And in the middle of the conversation, he just walks around the table and shows me on the paper all this cryptography stuff he had just written down, talking about how if you do document exchange, say purchase orders, let's say I do a purchase order with one of my vendors, and how you could selectively disclose information. So, okay, vendor information, address info, item information. Well, maybe I'm ordering many things. Maybe if I do a multi-party purchase order, I can put all of that on chain, but only give keys to different parties. So that would be a use case that I don't think anyone's really thinking about, but that's what Craig was talking about somehow while he was taking selfies. He managed to write this up. But something like that would add tons of value, because right now you would have to send that PO to 3 different parties, but you put it once on chain, cost savings, and then you get people to read only bits that they need to, so it's private.
Okay, that's right. Okay, so at the moment, people are starting to build within BSV. So what applications do you think people should be starting working on to for not only for BSV community's growth, but also for other industries outside this blockchain space to leverage?
I want to see encryption, a professional grade encryption implemented, because I feel like that's been hand-waved, even by myself, when talking about how to do these things. But if that's streamlined, that will help businesses come in, because their biggest concern about a public blockchain is that it's public, right? So they can't just put clear text. They need to put something that's there, but it's secured and it's not human readable. But up to this point, we don't have any tools to actually do it. So we need something that's simple, that a business can just, okay, I can take this, run with it, start using the blockchain. Because right now you'd have to be deep into cryptography, and I'm not a cryptographer. Most businesses don't have one on their staff, so it's not realistic to expect them to implement this type of thing on their own. They need something simple to be able to get it done.
That is true. And you've worked with the financial industry, that's correct?
To an extent.
Yeah, to an extent, right? And you sort of have an insight on how they actually respond. And we know that they don't really respond well to this space. But have you seen any changes or any positive response from this group since the emergence of Bitcoin SV?
I think that from an audibility perspective, and this was something Craig was talking about at the end of his talk with Jimmy today, is it would make their lives a lot easier, which would make government more effective. So right now, auditors kind of destroy value because, like Craig was saying, they do come in, they siphon resources. I've seen it happen personally. They pull them from their day jobs to go work on this audit thing. But those companies and the governments would much rather have where they can just do it themselves and are enabled to, but we don't have anything like that today. Right now, they have to come into the organizations, talk to the resources, meet with them, takes tons of time, and they have to kind of figure out, gather data from them, get access to their databases, and do all this work. But if there was something more honest, like the public blockchain, a company could just say, I'll give you the keys, go do whatever you need to do.